I didn't have a problem until the government invaded my home and told me that I couldn't continue donating my life to teaching children. And they presented that publicly and said, "This is illegal. You can't do this. This is unacceptable." It's just a bizarre thing to be shut down for the very things that they told us were okay.
After years of complete silence, Eustace Conway, the man who walked away from modern civilization to live as the last American frontiersman, has finally spoken. In an emotional and unexpected appearance, he revealed truths that no one saw coming. For decades, Eustace lived deep within the Appalachian Mountains, rarely speaking to the outside world. But now, what he just said could change everything we thought we knew about his mysterious life. The battle that almost destroyed him. For decades, Eustace Conway's life appeared to be the perfect embodiment of freedom and self-reliance. He built Turtle Island Preserve from the ground up with his bare hands, thousands of acres deep in the Appalachian wilderness. To the outside world, it looked like paradise. But what most never knew was how close it all came to collapsing. In the early 2000s, the state government began investigating Turtle Island for alleged code violations. Inspectors claimed his hand-built cabins and outdoor classrooms were unsafe by modern standards.
And the local inspector found that and came and told him, "Tear it down, take it all down. This is illegal activity. You can't have this building in your yard here."
They didn't understand that his buildings weren't just structures. They were living lessons showing how humans once lived before electricity and concrete.
People say, "Well, what do you do? What do you do out there?" We get people connected to nature, and we just sort of teach about reality, what's really important when it comes down to existence.
The battle that followed nearly broke him. For months, Eustace faced endless fines and legal threats. There were nights when he sat by the fire, questioning if his life's work would be torn down by the same civilization he had tried to escape. Yet he never fought back publicly. Instead, he remained silent, retreating deeper into the woods. That silence wasn't weakness, it was survival. Behind that calm, rugged face was a man losing faith in the very world he once tried to inspire. He felt betrayed by a system that punished him for living naturally. What the world saw as a quiet man in the mountains was in truth a warrior carrying invisible scars. Why, he disappeared. When Eustace finally broke his silence, his voice carried years of pain, wisdom, and reflection. He began with something few expected. "People think I chose isolation because I hate society. The truth is, I was trying to save it." For the first time, he admitted that his silence was never about escaping. It was about observing. Eustace explained that he had grown tired of shouting into a world that refused to listen. Turtle Island was meant to be a living classroom, but visitors treated it like a tourist attraction, snapping pictures without understanding the message. He described years spent alone, speaking only to the trees, wind, and animals, finding more honesty in nature than in people. "I wasn't hiding," he said quietly. "I was listening, to the earth, to the silence, to what people had forgotten." His words painted a haunting image of a man watching the planet fade while humanity rushed toward chaos. He revealed how even simple things like bird songs or the rhythm of seasons had begun to change, as if nature itself was crying for help. "The further we get from nature," he said, "the further we get from ourselves." For him, silence became a form of protest, a statement louder than any speech. The father who shaped him. For years, Eustace avoided talking about his family, but he finally opened up about the deep emotional scars that shaped him long before Turtle Island existed. His relationship with his father was far from peaceful. A strict and demanding man, his father believed discipline and control were the only ways to build character. Eustace grew up feeling like nothing he did was ever enough. Every achievement was met with criticism instead of pride. "The woods didn't judge me," he said softly. "They accepted me when nothing else did." The wilderness became his refuge. But his decision to disappear into nature wasn't just rebellion, it was escape. He admitted that when he first left home, he carried anger toward the man who never understood him. For years, that anger drove him deeper into isolation. Living in nature eventually stripped away his resentment, teaching him that forgiveness wasn't for others, it was for himself. Recently, he's been quietly reconnecting with family members who once thought he'd vanished for good. "You can't live alone forever," he said. "Even a tree needs the forest." The warning no one expected. When asked why he chose this moment to break years of silence, Eustace's answer sent chills through the audience. "Because time is running out," he said, his his voice steady but heavy with urgency. He wasn't talking about himself, he was talking about the planet. In his decades at Turtle Island, he's witnessed environmental changes that can no longer be ignored. Springs that once ran clear now carry a chemical smell. Trees that stood for generations are dying faster than ever. The rhythms of nature are out of sync. We've traded soil for screens, he said, and we think we're progressing. For Eustace, silence had been a form of study. He kept journals documenting subtle shifts over the years. Storms came out of season. Winters grew unpredictable. Animal paths shifted away from natural routes. These weren't coincidences. They were consequences. The earth has patience, he warned, but even patience runs out. His tone hardened as he criticized modern society for losing respect for nature. Nature doesn't need us, he said. We need her, and she's been warning us over and over again. His message wasn't political. It was personal. He spoke as a man who had watched the world decay from his own backyard. If we keep going like this, he said, the silence I once lived in will be the silence of extinction. Fame's heavy price. Eustace never set out to become a television personality. When he appeared on Mountain Men, he saw it as a chance to share his message, not gain fame. But what started as education quickly became a burden. People watched me, he said, but they didn't really see me. Camera crews arrived with lights, cables, and schedules that clashed with the natural rhythm of his life. The simplicity he cherished turned into performance. The more they filmed, the less real it became, he confessed. He considered walking away completely, but letters from viewers gave him hope. Young people wrote about how his lifestyle inspired them to reconnect with nature. Still, fame took its toll. Strangers showed up uninvited, expecting photos like he was a museum exhibit. I never wanted to be famous, he said. I wanted to be useful. The people he lost. Eustace's voice grew softer as he spoke about something far more personal. For the first time, he opened up about the people he'd lost along the way. You don't build a life like this without burying a few friends, he said. Several close friends lost their lives in tragic accidents during Turtle Island's early days, crushed by logs, swept away by floods, or lost to harsh winters. Every tree here holds a memory, he said. Every stone reminds me of someone who gave everything for this place. He spoke about a mentor, an old woodsman who vanished one winter and was never seen again. Sometimes, he said, I still hear him in the wind. He also confirmed he came within an inch of losing Turtle Island to financial and legal struggles. The land doesn't belong to me, he said. It belongs to the spirit of everyone who ever believed in it. His silence all those years wasn't just about solitude, it was about mourning. A teacher reborn. After years of silence and sorrow, Eustace's tone shifted from warning to wisdom. After everything I've seen, he said, I still believe there's hope for us. He described the peace found in nature's quiet moments, wind through pine needles, frost clinging to bark, silence after rain. When you listen long enough, he said, you realize the earth still wants us here. It just wants us to remember how to live. He explained that humanity's greatest tragedy wasn't destruction, but forgetfulness. We've built skyscrapers, he said, but we've lost the ground beneath our feet. Yet, he didn't sound defeated. He urged people to start small, plant seeds, build with their hands, sit outside long enough to watch the stars move. You don't need to run to the woods, he said. Just stop running away from yourself. He revealed he's begun inviting young people, veterans and families to Turtle Island once more, teaching them to reconnect with what he calls the forgotten language of the land. The land healed me, he said, and now it's time I let it heal others. His final gift. As the interview closed, Eustace stood in his cabin doorway, fading sunlight pouring through the trees, half in light, half in shadows. He revealed he's been writing what he calls his final gift to humanity, a book chronicling his decades in the wilderness. Everything I've ever learned, he said, came from the land itself. I'm just the messenger. The book will document Turtle Island's rise and fall as proof that even in chaos, the dream of balance can survive. If one child reads it, he said, and chooses a life that honors the earth, then every battle I fought was worth it. He's also been quietly mentoring young people, teaching old skills like blacksmithing, foraging, and horse wrangling. The land doesn't just feed the body, he explained. It heals the soul. Then his voice lowered. The silence wasn't because I had nothing to say, he said. It was because I was waiting for the world to be ready to listen. His final message was simple, yet profound. We're not separate from nature. We are nature. Every breath we take is borrowed air. Every step we walk is borrowed ground. We have to start living like we remember that. Eustace looked toward the horizon, his weathered face calm and sure. "I'm not here to warn anymore. I'm here to remind." And with that, he walked back into the forest, the sound of his footsteps fading into the wind. His message lingers, a call to awaken, to live gently, and to finally hear what the earth has been trying to tell us all along.